G'day and welcome. I'm Andres Free and you're listening to the Pinche Pedro podcast. For the next few episodes, I'm very excited to have the pleasure of talking to Rocco Sorace, who will be educating me on the subject of well-being. He's the director of Vita Health and Fitness and has, for the last 17 years of his professional life, dedicated his life to sharing his knowledge and his passion for well-being. Rocco, mate, thanks for being on the Pinche Pedro podcast.
No problem. How are you doing today?
Oh, mate, very well. Yeah, I think better now that I'm talking to you. Feeling much more relaxed and de-stressed already.
Right, it's working.
Yeah. So, mate, you've dedicated the last 17 years of your life, like I said, to well-being. Can you actually go ahead and define well-being for us? Like, when we talk about well-being, what is it?
Well-being's thrown around in many corporations. Just to tick off the well-being box for people so realise what it means. So well-being for me is a holistic approach to your lifestyle. It's not just fitness, it's food, it's the way you treat your mind and body, and it's not trying to be in front of Men's Health magazine, six-pack. It's about being kind to your body and your mind. And I've been teaching, as I said, Pilates and personal training for over 17 years. And what's worked for most of my clients is not being too hard on yourself in regards to strict diets, anything extreme. Even too much Pilates is not good for you. So it's about well-being's about holistic approach, about the way you treat your body and mind. And if you've got the right mindset that with regards to nutrition and exercise, it will be long lasting. It's not just a fad diet or a fad exercise. And Pilates has been around for over 100 years. And if you hear a background noise, that's my French bulldog making a lot of noise.
That's all right. I've got my golden retriever chewing something on the couch as well, so don't worry at all. Oh, that's cute. What's that?
There
A French bulldog?
Frenchie. His name is
Oh,
Finn.
cute.
This is well-being. Holding a dog.
Yeah, I should have brought my golden retriever. Anyway, for the next episode.
But yeah, well-being is like I teach corporate Pilates and yoga, and I can find that the staff really benefit just having that time out for themselves. You know, if you're a parent, kids, and homeschooling at the moment, or mortgages and stress of finance, well-being is just having that hour to yourself physically, just to focus on your breathing, your mental and physical health, and then it will branch out to your eating habits. I find that most of my clients that teach, or when I teach Pilates or personal training, when they invest in themselves, when they go to a cafe or a supermarket, they'll choose the right food ingredients for their recipe and for their family. It's like an investment. It's like when you stop exercising and you feel, okay, what's the use? I might as well eat, junk food. And it's just a bad cycle, in my opinion. And to be honest, it's no brain surgery, keeping fit and healthy. It's just being honest to yourself and maintaining an honest, healthy, I don't even like to call it diet, just an eating plan.
Yeah, that's right. So how did you start your journey into well-being? So have you always been in well-being, or is it sort of...
Well, I enjoyed sport as a kid, and I worked in retail management, and I was always interested in the body, and that store, when I was working in Adelaide, closed down. I decided to go back to uni and study, and became a personal trainer, and I started from the bottom again at 28, so I changed careers again. 28 sounds young now. 43 now. It is young. And I started from the bottom again as a gym and a receptionist at a gym, 50% pay cut. And I loved every minute of it. I didn't look back. And running your own business is difficult. And working with people, it can be unpredictable. And I think I've been benefited because I've moved from Adelaide, then I went to Norway, had opportunity to work for a gym. I worked in Greece during 2004 during the Olympics. I trained one of my clients who wanted me to be with her during the Olympics. That was exciting. That was when I was 29. And then I moved to Melbourne. I started all over again. So, and the thing is, success is not just your salary. what you're earning. Success is not big houses or what new car you are driving. Success is getting up in the morning, enjoying what you're doing, and obviously you want to have a living as well. You want to go on holidays, and financial success is important too. But what's the price you want to pay for how much money you want? And that's during this COVID-19 crisis is, do you need that extra stress with a higher mortgage or car lease? You want backup. And I think living and finding joys in simple things, I know it's a cliche, it's important. So and really health is really important, and having, we're quite lucky in Australia from what we've got.
Yeah, absolutely.
So great health system. So and being grateful for what you've got, and there'll be always someone that's got more than you. And there'll be always someone that's got less than you. Just be grateful for what you got. Get up in the morning, go for a walk. You got and just not everyone can afford a personal training or go to Pilates classes, but there's always a way you can do for well-being, looking after yourself.
And I mean, it's so accessible now. Like if you look at your business model, and not to bang on about your business model too much, but I mean, it is great. Like we look at this new COVID situation, and it's sort of thrown in everyone for a loop. And I think one thing that I've noticed about your business is you've sort of, you've transitioned very well to a new way of working. I mean, it's within a few weeks, we've all had to work from home. And I think you've literally had to transition your whole business model from going into all these corporations and doing your classes to online in, what was it, like one day or one afternoon?
The Sunday that was 3 months ago, the Sunday that the government announced that the gyms and cafes were closing, the next day I went to JB Hi-Fi, and it was crazy, so busy. Everything sold out. I had a tripod that I'm on. That's the iPad's on at the moment. I had that. I had to buy a connection. I couldn't. The cameras were sold out. So I bought a new iPad, which was like over $500, which was a great investment. And you can see me and hear me clearly, hopefully. And
perfect.
Lucky my clients that I've built up. There's never an overnight success. So the Zoom Pilates and corporate Pilates happen because I've been working so hard beforehand. So
how are people finding it? How are they finding that transition to online?
I lost a few clients because they're a bit skeptical and they're not tech savvy. So I offered free like one-on-one courses, so I can teach them where to place their laptop or camera, stream it to the TV so they can see it. And people are loving it because I started back working at the gyms at the moment, which is great for now. But there's still a little bit of caution, and there's a lot more effort in regards to driving, find a car park, set your mat, disinfect the mat, wash your hands. If you're at home, for the client and for myself, just switch it on. And
you're there.
I can't correct people at the moment anyway because it's not allowed at the gyms, so it's visual. And I've got a huge screen behind you, and I can see you, and I can see all the clients, and I can see their positions a lot more than actual being in the class in the back.
Really? Okay.
So I've had loyal clients, which is lucky, and I have been working my butt off in regards to Facebooks and Instagram, emailing, offering free offers. So it has been in my mind. It was stressful. I didn't know that Sunday and Monday, I didn't know how it would turn out, or no one did in regards to, and if I was paying rent at a Pilates studio, it'd be even a lot more stress. I didn't know I was going to get the job keeper. No one knew how that was going to plan out. So, but the well-being, I know that people that got into comfort food and drinking, and that wasn't the answer long term. Maybe 1 week the other way, being healthier and looking after yourself was going to give you a good base. So even because we don't know what's going to plan out in September when the job keeper is completed. So if you've got a healthy base in regards to your health and mental health, maybe you can handle things a bit more differently.
Well, Well, you've done very well. I've seen some of your exercise videos, and they're very enjoyable. I'd like to get into well-being a little bit more because for me it's a fascinating subject. I'm a bit of a dummy when it comes to well-being. I don't know too much. Like I've sort of I have an academic level understanding of well-being, and I've sort of seen some of the pillars, and there are various pillars where some pillars look at consist of 5 pillars where they look at physical, social, mental, financial, community. Some of the pillars look at sort of your life circumstances, mind, social, and body. But I think one thing's for certain is when we look at well-being is there's a real return on investment for companies to invest in well-being. I mean, that's not really something that's debatable anymore. I know PwC conducted a study a few years ago where they looked at for every $1 invested in well-being, there's a return. There's a $2.3 return to $10 sometimes, depending on
That's right,
the well-being program. So it's quite extraordinary. And I look at your business model, and it's done so well. And I know in Melbourne specifically, we've actually met because I was consulting in a company where I remember around lunchtime talking to people going up to the 15th floor of this particular company. And their favorite part of the day was going to Rocco's class, whatever that was. And it made quite an impression on me. And it's that's why I have this fascination on well-being. And it's well understood, but I'm quite interesting on the elements that make up well-being and what you focus on. And I know in your classes you look at fitness as a big component of that. You look at nutrition and you look at meditation. So for the next few episodes, we'll look at all of those. But for today, I'd love to focus a little bit on the physical health in terms of the exercise and maybe Pilates. So how do you, in your business, so that physical component.
That's the main model is Pilates, yes.
The main model is Pilates, is that correct?
It is, and yoga is in the background and meditation. So the Pilates was my main focus. And the reason why Pilates was so popular in the corporate sector was it was a less light impact on your joints. You're not doing any extreme stretches that sometimes extreme yoga can. It was aimed for men and women, and especially if some of the colleagues have had maternity leave for their pelvic floor muscles, going to Pilates, especially my Pilates, was incorporated a certain part of that, supporting clients that have had mild injuries. So, because I used to cater for 20 people, but there might be certain levels I'll teach in that class. So Pilates is a great way of getting active. And if you haven't done exercise for a long time, you work in your spine, your core. A lot of my clients are sitting down for 8 or 10 hours a day, hunched forward, causing traps, and your pec minor muscles are getting tight. And that can cause add-on stress, and productivity is less when you're stressed, and you don't want to take a certain amount of sick days. So if you're looking after your staff, and it's not just the workplace, you have to take responsibility as an individual, because you got to think, that's on offer. I'm going to try it, or and I'm going to invest in myself, and because if you don't look after yourself, no one else is going to. And I found the classes help all different age groups, male, female, different parts of the business. There might be CEOs to, different parts of the business, and they interacted in the same level because they're on their gym clothes, and they get to know different departments, and it's really good for the business to have that team building without being so forceful. So the thing, my business and my personality type, I'm not that A-type personality that forces people into it. It has to be organic, and that's sort of my point of difference. It's more boutique well-being. It's not forced, and it's not false. I don't put a mask on to change the perception of my business. I'm the same person.
That's
behind the scenes and in front. So And maybe that's why my business is kept small, because I like to have an honest and healthy relationship with the businesses and the staff and the clients.
Yeah. So when you say small, so you're mainly focused in Melbourne, right? So you have a few staff and you
and Adelaide as well. So I've
Adelaide.
got a few contractors in Adelaide, and when I go to Norway every year, I run a workshop. So still got my clients. And the good thing about the COVID-19, the silver lining, is all my clients from Norway and Adelaide are back on board my classes, because I teach 4 Zoom classes a week. So my mum, my sisters, my clients in Norway, even though it's probably a different time zone. So it's nice to reconnect with my clients. And because the gyms were closed in Adelaide and in Norway, there was no option. So they decided to come back to my business, and which is great. And I decided to keep my Zoom. And at the moment, I'm doing 2 corporate classes as well by Zoom. So one company that's got a finance team, they're organising 20 people in there. Everyone's working from home, and another legal team for the same company. So it's through word of mouth. It's a very personal thing when it comes to well-being. And obviously I've got a lot of experience and making sure that everyone works at their own pace.
Okay. So for everyone listening today, I think let's break down Pilates a little bit. So you say you're teaching Pilates and yogas a little bit in the background.
Yes.
Why is yoga in the background? Do you sort of see Pilates as a superior exercise as yoga, or what's the?
I got into yoga a bit later, so I'm probably more confident as a Pilates instructor.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And I find that I can find the benefit more for corporates in Pilates, especially for back and core health. Yoga is great as well. I teach yoga, and I just find it a lot more accommodating for people's neck and lower back when I teach Pilates. With yoga, some people might be a bit more cautious because they think they need to be so flexible. So with Pilates and core, it's a lot more inviting.
You see, that's what I don't understand. I don't understand the difference between yoga and Pilates, because for me, it's sort of one and the same. But I'm wrong?
Yeah, they're very different. So Joseph Pilates is the gentleman that invented Pilates, and basically it's all about your pelvic floor muscles, your neutral spine, and working your core with your body in coordination with the breath. The breathing is a bit different as well. You inhale through your nose and out through your mouth through Pilates. In yoga, certain yoga practices, you inhale through your nose, out through your nose. So Joseph Pilates did use a lot of the yoga poses into his practice, but it's more about alignment and not as the flexy or stretchy as yoga. And then after you've got Pilates, clinical Pilates with a physio, and that might be a different style from mine. It's more one-on-one, a lot more technical. I teach fitness Pilates, which is aimed for the gym and workplace environment group. And there's reformer Pilates as well with the machines. And
what's that? Sorry, reformer Pilates?
Yeah, so it's with the equipment with the straps and pulleys. So have you tried reformer before?
No, I've never done any of it.
A lot of clinical Pilates have got the reformer, but there's usually 2 or 3 people in the class. A lot of gyms that have got reformer, there's a lot 20 people, which, to be honest, I find a bit hard to monitor 20 people in the reformer class. I prefer at least 10 or 6, so you can design your own program for the particular person. But my motto is, as long as they keep moving and there's no pain and they're doing it correctly, and the thing is, there's no perfect program. So you've got to make sure there's no injuries and no pain, because not everyone can afford a one-on-one reformer class. Just make sure when you go into a class, you know their experience, and they've got their registration, and work at your own pace. When I do yoga, I don't do headstands as a student, because my neck particularly doesn't like it. So
Yeah.
I
Okay.
always compare myself to me. So yoga is a more philosophy, more meditation, a lot more stretch. You are working your pelvic floor muscles more. It's more flow. Pilates is a bit more structured with a method.
Oh,
So
okay.
so you've got the certain exercises in mat Pilates, and then after I've incorporated a bit of yoga poses, and I do teach yoga as well.
Yeah.
And then
Okay.
after in both practices, usually Pilates is not meditation at the end, but I've incorporated meditation in both practices
Okay.
because it's funny to see people at the end of the class and they find it difficult to relax, and the meditation is harder than the workout.
Oh,
And
okay.
that's when they need to relax. So
So
and
we're actually
meditation,
doing, that's our episode 3, meditation, right? That's why we're doing meditation.
yes,
Meditation
and
and mindfulness, right?
mindfulness, and mainly meditation. That's the same thing, really.
Mm.
Mindfulness is being in present moment. So you could be in the garden, gardening,
Yeah.
and that's a form of meditation.
Mm-mm.
So you're in the present moment. You're not thinking about dinner or a bill you haven't paid. You're in the moment, like children playing
Yeah.
or a dog at the park. You know, they know mindfulness a lot more than us.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're in the moment.
Yeah.
So I think our mind overthinks too much. And in times like this, I think switching off your Apple News is a good idea. You don't need to see the news every 5 minutes on your
Yeah.
phone or whatever phone you have, and have that. You know, you need to know what's going on, but you don't need to know it 10 times a day.
Yeah. That's good advice. Yeah. I think a lot of
It's
us
not.
are guilty about that. And especially
Yeah,
with all this negative COVID stuff coming through, it takes an impact on you.
yeah. And
Definitely
if you've
does.
got your phone, yeah, if you've got your phone on and you've got, when you check a message and the Apple News comes up on your screen,
Yeah.
just switch it off. You don't need to know. And
Mm.
there's too much negative energy into your mind,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
overthink. So you don't want to blindfold yourself, because
Mm.
that's the opposite. But you need to be knowledgeable, but you don't need to know every hour, especially if you're working from home or if you're being laid off and you're overthinking, you're getting worried. So that's one reporter's perspective of the situation, of their view. And
Yeah.
there's 10 million views. You can
That's
see on
right. Yeah.
Facebook, and
That's
reading
right.
those comments on Facebook, that's probably not the best advice too.
Mm. And that's the
So
thing. There's so much negativity in the media, but there's thousands of wonderful, positive things happening all around you. But if you're focusing on the media all the time, you're not seeing it. Yeah. Hey, Rocco,
yes, and
I
yes.
want to slowly go back to Pilates, because I'm very curious about Pilates and exercise and physical health. So to physical health in terms of exercise and Pilates. So if anyone listening to this that wants to sort of improve their physical health and cardiovascular health and strength, so what advice do you? So you look at Pilates. So that's sort of physical strength and a bit of stretching in a
Well,
sense.
it's strength and core strength, spine health, pelvic floor muscles. Do you know how to activate your pelvic floor muscles?
No idea.
Well, you can say no. So, this is a good way to explain it. So the
Okay.
pelvic floor muscles, where's my therapist? The pelvic floor muscles, like a hammock muscle, which protects your pelvic organs. So,
Okay.
and it's a muscle, and people forget to activate it. So,
Why is it important to activate it?
well, it keeps all your bladder intact, and as you get older, so you're not weeing your pants. So
Yeah.
so basically, or if you've had a baby, it's really important that you activate your pelvic floor muscles, and it's for your internal health. And that's the difference between an ab class and a Pilates class. You could be doing crunches and not activating your pelvic floor muscles gently, and you want to work within, inside
Okay.
and out your core. It's not just about the six pack. So, visualize this morning you walk out and you go into the sea. That's that feeling working your pelvic floor muscles for a male. So
Okay.
it's lifting. So breathing. Or I explain in the class sometimes you've drank lots of water or beer and there's a big lineup pre-COVID-19 in a nightclub and you're busting to go and you have to hold. That's a muscle that holds it in.
Right. Okay.
And it's not advisable to practice it like that. But in
Yeah.
Pilates, you gently lift for like a few seconds and then relax while you draw your belly button in. So then Pilates is you're breathing laterally. So place your hands around your rib cage and you breathe in through your nose. Rib cage expands like an accordion, and then you breathe out as you're breathing out through a straw.
Right.
So you're breathing laterally. So you visualize this band is gently protecting your back, your core muscles, and it's all connected to your spine and nervous system. And if not sure if you've ever had a back injury, it's debilitating, and we don't want that. And your body's not designed to sit down 8 hours a day. I'm on a fit ball now. They were in fashion back in the 90s, but I still use them. The reason why they banned fit balls in workplaces because people were having accidents, or they can still slouch in a fit ball, or they'll place the fit ball underneath their desk and it will split and it will just and it was causing accidents. So it wasn't a health and safety factor using them. But you know, you always get a good quality fit ball, the thicker ones. This ball here, I've had for 15 years.
Right.
And it's still good. So they're the physio ones. They're thicker. If you go to other stores that are cheaper, they're really thin and they deflate. So I recommend a good fit ball. But back to Pilates is it's your spine as well. Your discs get compressed when you're sitting down.
Yep.
So Pilates helps lengthen the spine, and your organs have got more room to breathe.
Yeah.
So,
right.
You know, I always recommend if you've had a car accident or injury, go to a physio, Pilates, do a one-on-one. But if it's just for able body and you got a slight discomfort, come to a group class or try my Zoom class. I've got, sound like a salesperson now.
Go for it.
This. I got 6 DVDs and downloads. You know, DVD players were back in the day. And
where can we find these, Rocco? Do you have a website?
Vita Health and Fitness.
Vita Health and Fitness. Okay.
.com, not AU, just .com.
Oh,
and it's VITA. Or you just Google Rocco Pilates and my website will come up.
Perfect.
But I decided to film because I was in Adelaide in 2006 and everyone wanted a class, they wanted to film it. So I got a professional camera crew and went to the beach in Adelaide. Took a while to edit, and I got a deal with JB Hi-Fi and came up back in the day. And that didn't happen by accident. I had 100 no's until all you need is one yes.
All you need,
and that's with every business. I sound like Lady Gaga now. So, I
take it you're a very persistent person.
I think I'm more relaxed now as I'm older. In my 20s and 30s, I was a lot more hungry for it. And I suppose you have to go through your moments. You can't be always on that go. It's not good for the trainer's well-being too.
Yeah, that's right.
So you can't just be, I can't define myself as a Pilates instructor only, you know, or, you know, people that lose their jobs or change careers. You can't just define yourself as your career. I love gardening. I love going for runs. I love cooking. Yeah. So you've got to have other hobbies, and that's well-being as well. So, you know, to answer your previous question, you know, you can't just define yourself on what you do for work, even if I love what I do. You got to open your mind to other things. Yeah,
and I agree. And balance is so important. I mean, otherwise you just
and that's probably that's the main key for well-being, is balance.
Yeah. So back to physical health. So you do Pilates and yoga in the background. Do you do any
training?
Personal training?
Yes.
So cardio and weights, or break it down for us.
We use kettlebells, TRX, weight training. I've got a few running clients as well, making sure their technique is correct.
What's that? Running what?
A running client. So people that wanted to train for corporate runs and they've never run before. There's a lot of injuries that happen.
Yeah.
And you probably see, at the beginning of the COVID-19 is there was a lot of people running that probably never run before. And I just was horrified because I live in St. Kilda Beach nearby, and I could see people running and their knees were jarring and their feet were not lifting up and their posture. So these people in a few months are going to be going to the physio or osteo. So getting some tips on your running technique is important. And then Pilates does help your running too. There's been a lot of studies that your running and Pilates is a good combo, because, you know, you are jarring and you want to make sure you land lightly, get the right footwear. Don't do 10Ks if you've never done 10Ks in a row, and everything in moderation. So, but, you know, people get addicted to the high. You know, I enjoy running too, but I run 3 times a week, 6Ks, and that's and
That's
I do
plenty.
other things. Started swimming, and obviously the pools have been closed, and it's a bit cold to go in the sea. So, but I do miss my swimming.
Yeah. So for someone that wants to maintain good physical health, but not necessarily train for something like an Ironman. I mean, someone just wants to be fit, have improved their strength, be a little bit healthier. How often do you recommend someone to do Pilates, cardio, weight training, to have it all in balance? And if they do want to have, because I mean, I suppose someone on a budget, they can't go to class all the time. So how often do you recommend, what's the minimum amount of time someone should be doing Pilates a week, or yoga, or weight training, or what, in your opinion, because you've been doing this for quite a long time?
Yeah. Well, Pilates can be done while you're walking. So you can do your Pilates breath and posture. So when you're walking your dog, so that's Pilates, and lifting your pelvic floor muscles. If you're on the phone with a client that's, you know, like at work, or your boss, you can be lifting your pelvic floor muscles and doing your Pilates work and working at the same time. But at least once a week Pilates. But you can do Pilates while you're walking. I've had a lot of clients that have done a lot of treks around the world, and they've commented that my Pilates class has helped them with their hiking, especially you know, in Bali and Tasmania. Just different hikes they've been doing. A lot of women that have had babies for the first time, they've come back to me saying the Pilates class have helped their labor. That's nice. I just saw a client, I was a trainer previously at a gym, and I saw it with a baby first time, and I'm usually the first one they tell that they're pregnant, because they have to let me know. So it's a privilege.
That's awesome.
So and it's helped their recovery, especially their pelvic floor and their core, because obviously the rectus, the 6-pack, when you have a baby, splits, so the baby's got room, and then you have to wait 2 finger spaces for them to start training again. So it's really important. So once a week Pilates, or twice. You can do Pilates when you walk by checking your posture. A yoga class for mental health as well. But, you know, grab your Fitbit or your phone and aim for at least 10,000 steps for well-being and 15,000 steps for fitness.
Okay.
So, and your strength training could be, you know, $5 or $10 TheraBand, Kmart or wherever you can get them, and do a few squats. And, you know, during my Pilates Zoom classes, we use these bands for strength. So it's a combination of strength classes and Pilates, and that's you can use that anywhere. So it's just a TheraBand.
I'll have to watch your class, because I would have no idea how to use that band.
Well, you basically, you know, place the band on your feet, and you're doing back row, side raises, biceps, triceps, squats. You know, you're doing squats. So working the rhomboid muscle, especially if you're hunched forward during the day. So it just helps support your posture, and that's what Pilates and strength training does. So back to your question, aim for 10,000 steps a day, which is about 1.5 hours of moving around. Doesn't have to be at once. For fitness, 15,000 steps. The Fitbit's a great tool. 1 Pilates class a week and 2 strength training classes you can do at home. And there's lots of YouTube clips. You know, I've got a few free ones as well, Pilates YouTube clips as well, or you can download all those DVDs. I've got one called Personal Train at Home, and that's only $9 to download. And
that's all on your website, vitalfitness.com.
You download the whole program for $10, and it's yours. There's no subscription, there's no fees, membership fees.
Okay,
you just got that on your Dropbox. So a lot of my clients, I don't see, you know, they can't afford personal training all the time, so they just do my 10-minute arm workout on a Saturday. and my 30-minute Pilates class online, like downloaded. So
okay, fantastic.
and
And what about cardio?
cardio. Well, it's not everyone likes running. So walking, walking, aiming for at least 30 minutes a day for your heart health. If you can't do a half an hour to start with, try 15 minutes. That's why it's good having a dog, because you walk a lot. If you're running or you're cycling, make sure you have a good target and then increase your target. So, half a K, then 1K, there's great apps that you can download. So, but motivation. So maybe grab a friend or a family member. But it's all in here. So if you make a decision, you want to change a habit, it takes 20 goes. So 20 times to change a habit. So give yourself 20 days.
It's bloody tough changing those habits. I always struggle. But you're right, though. Like, I mean, I think it's around, for me, it's about 15 times of doing something before I break that habit, but maybe 20, like you say.
Well, I was drinking a lot of coffee because I'm Italian. I love coffee. And when you reach the 3 or 4 mark, that's not good for your anxiety or mental health. Having too much coffee just adds too much stress with the caffeine. So
you crash a little bit later on.
I crash at 3:30 because I wake up so early training people. And I used to grab the coffee, and now I changed it to herbal tea. I got a nice pot. I went to a tea store and got different kind of licorice tea and herbal tea, and it's like a ritual. Instead of my coffee, I have that, and my teeth are better, and I feel a lot better afterwards. Instead of that quick rush with the caffeine, and then you crash, and you sleep better. So, and that's the thing with exercise and well-being. Your sleeping habits change. Yeah. So, so if you invest in your body, you'll have a great night's sleep, and if you avoid too much caffeine, so and not be too hard on yourself. So obviously with our next episode, we'll be talking about some food tips, and I'm on semi-dry July, and I'll show you a few food tips that are easy to stick to.
I'm looking forward to that. We'll load that up tomorrow.
Yes.
Hi, can you see me? Sorry, my camera just disappeared for a second. So I'll slowly finish off this episode, Rocco. That's really useful. So for anyone that's interested in checking out some of Rocco's Pilates or yoga or personal training videos, go to vitahealthandfitness.com. I just have one final question for you, mate. So you mentioned earlier on that obviously our bodies are not made to sit all day, and it's pretty hard when you have an office job and you sort of glued to a screen all day. Because I know for myself, like I've had a bung neck for the last 2 weeks, and I mean it's really hard when you sit down all day. What's your recommendation? How often should someone get up and walk around in order to avoid some of these nasty musculoskeletal injuries?
A lot of my clients that are working from home, I get them to have their water not by their desk, to have the water further away, because you're not walking as much, especially if you're working from home now. You're not walking to the train station. So at least every 40 minutes, go and grab your water and have a little stretch, even just the half moon stretch. This one, top, the half moon stretch, and just drinking water. That's another thing. I said a lot of people don't drink enough water throughout the day because they're glued to their screen meetings. And check your ear placement. So your ear placement should be in line with your shoulders, because you're screening forward, and the minute you get stressed, your posture collapse. And that's one thing Pilates will help you. Muscle memory. It will help you just lengthen and relieve any neck pain. So just have your water not right next to you, so you can walk every 40 minutes, and the half moon stretch, the Pilates stretch. So that's my tip of the day.
Thanks, mate.
No problem. And maybe check your desk as well, especially at home. It's probably not designed for the economics. So used to going to work, and the desk is all designed. Your screen, you might be in your homeschooling, and you might be in your kitchen table. So please check that, because your neck won't like it, or your back.
Yeah, that's right. That's great, mate. And I think you might have sold me on Pilates. I think I'll have to take it up. So,
You should.
Rocco, that's been great, mate. So I've been, everyone go and check out his website, vitahealthandfitness.com.
Or YouTube as well.
Or
Yeah.
YouTube.
YouTube channel. Yeah.
Yeah. And tomorrow I'm chatting to you with, regarding healthy eating and nutrition, right?
Yes, and a few nice recipes from my cookbook.
Yeah, fantastic. Talk then, mate. Really nice chatting to you, Rocco.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, mate.
Enjoy your day. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.